What's going on? My name is Jadon, and today we're going to be talking about why you still need to do cardio on the bulk during body game. I always messed up and I never did cardio when I first started bulking up at 15 to 16 years old. And that was the one mistake I've always made because I just kept lifting the weights. I bulked up, I ate the right food, but I just never did any cardio. And that caused me to have shin splints when I was in basic training a few years back. So at 18 years old, I enlisted and I did basic training for, I think it was around 2 months. And they do a lot of smoking, and smoking is a term where they make you exercise for doing something wrong or one of your teammates messes something up for you. And sometimes we would have to run around the whole entire block or run a mile or so. And we were just forced to do a lot of cardio at the time. I guess a lot of working out and body weight and calisthenics, a lot of body weight exercises, but we did a lot of cardio as well. And I was 18 years old when I first enlisted, and I was super bulked up at the time. I never really did any cardio like that. I was just lifting heavy weights. So when I joined the military and I did basic training, I was forced to run. I was forced to just do a lot of running, sprints. And over the accumulation of doing those exercises over the course of a couple of weeks, I had shin splints and it really messed up my legs. I really couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. Every time I walked, it would hurt, but I would still have to push and force myself to keep on doing that so I wouldn't get held back for another rotation during basic training. And that's the one thing I really regret as I'm looking back on it now is not doing any cardio. Because I was lifting heavy weights. I was eating a lot of food, bulking up, eating 5 to 6 meals a day. I was super big and jacked, but I just couldn't do any running. I couldn't do any exercises or workouts whatsoever. And that just caused me to be held back. But during my 2 mile, when I first started, whenever we had the AT or ACF, which is the Army Combat Fitness Test, or which now is just called the Army Fitness Test, I would be the last place. I would still pass, right? Because I'm Jamaican. I'm originally supposed to be a runner. I would be last, but I would still pass. But I always seen people who are probably even bigger and stronger than me outrun me. And I always asked them, hey, dude, you lift all these heavy weights. How were you able to pass the 2 mile faster than the time I did? And they would be like, I've always run. And I was like, they're asking me, Jadon, why don't you pass? Why aren't you faster than me? You're almost as big as strong as me, and you're probably younger than me. Why aren't you passing me in the terms of cardio or athleticism? I would be like, because I don't ever do cardio. And they were like, that's your problem right there. You don't ever do cardio. Of course I don't ever do cardio. I don't need to do cardio. Why do I do cardio? There's no point. I'm just here to just lift weights, get big and strong. No, that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do cardio and lift heavy weights as well, so you can be an overall well-rounded person. I wouldn't say athlete because I'm not an athlete, but you want to be in shape, like a hybrid in a way. You want to know how to lift weights and do cardio. And I think that's why people are doing the hybrid method. I call it a method, but people are starting to go with hybrid training where they're doing marathon runs and lifting heavy weights. Now, most of these people probably, I think your body, I think these people are taking PEDs for this stuff because you look at their bodies. When people start having those weird looking abs, like I can just tell when someone's on PEDs just like the way their abs look, or their shoulders look, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a genetic thing, but you can just tell this person's probably on PEDs. I'm not going to say the name or whatever, but I'm seeing people who are doing these hybrid exercises who look like they're on something. They have to be on something, might be injecting something into their butt, but that's besides the point. Either way, people are now doing these hybrid exercises, and I'm seeing why they're doing it. You want to be in shape, you want to be jacked, want to be strong, but you also want to be able to run. If, for example, someone's going to try to mug you or try to chase you with a knife, if you're a big, bulky guy, you sprint for probably for a minute. After that minute, you're tired, and then I just get hurt and you get unalived. I don't know the limitations for the YouTube stuff of saying certain words. I'm still kind of new to this, but you get unalived for not being able to run away from this person. Like if you were to be in shape to actually sprint or run, you've been doing it so long compared to a person who just has a random weapon trying to rob and hurt other people or just chasing after other people. That person just naturally has the ability to run or sprint because they've probably been doing that in the past. They're used to it, but they're not going to be able to outbeat a person who's literally training that. Like a person who's actually doing those kinds of workouts. So a person's going to have probably a genetic gift of being able to do that and chase after someone with a knife. But against someone like you, if you were to actually do a hybrid workout or be a hybrid lifter, you could be able to outrun this guy and outsprint this guy. And this guy's just going to be running after you. Oh, hey, why can't I catch this guy? And it's like, oh, this person's trained for months on end on how to run fast, how to lift weights. And if you do martial arts, man, that's even a plus. So the one thing, and because of that basic training experience, I've always realized I need to start doing cardio. So after that basic training, I think a year after that, I started doing more cardio, ellipticals, sprints, Not jogging, not so much, but now I'm doing jogging now and I love it. I'm gonna start just doing straight up runs. I think it's because I have really big muscle bellies. I have big legs. I have a big body. Being able to run for that long, you kind of have to be skinny. That's why you see most long distance runners or people who sprint or whatnot, they're in shape, but they're very lean. So the marathon runners, they're skinny, they're lean, they're skinny. And then sprinters or whatnot, they have more muscle, but they're sort of skinny as well. Because you don't need all that mass when you're going to be taking off and sprinting and running on that track. Less what you have, the faster you'll probably be, which is probably not always true, but you're still gonna have more distance and faster sprint time than a person like me, who's like over 200 pounds, huge and jacked, sprinting against a person who's like 180 pounds, pretty lean and ripped. Of course, he's gonna be faster than me because that's his whole thing, compared to a person like me who just does cardio and does lift mostly just weights. Of course, you're going to be better at that because your body's used to it, your legs are used to it, your nervous system is used to it, your body gets accumulated and adjusted to the profession that you're doing. Because I'm doing that thing, I'm going to be better at lifting weights and working out compared to the person who's just doing sprints, which is kind of obvious, but it's the truth. So whenever you're on Bodygame and you're trying to be lean and look good and be jacked and just overall just look good in society and feel good and be strong, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to do cardio, man. You're going to have to do your cardio. Maintain that leanness. I'm about to go do cardio right now. Today is supposed to be a rest day, but there's like that little voice in my brain right now telling me to just go hit the gym and make some content. Something's just telling me to do that. And I think I got to get a little bit leaner because summer's coming up and I want to look good, especially with this content that I'm making now. Do your cardio, ladies and gents. Do your cardio. Also, another thing I want to point out is that after you do your runs or your jogs or your sprints or hitting the heavy bag, which I like to do, your heart, it bumps and it beats so fast while you're working out. And afterwards, there's just a drug-y feeling. Not that I do drugs. I just seen a ravioli shop. I just seen a ravioli food truck. Who just eats ravioli? Ravioli is not that good for you to be having a food truck. Okay, let me stop. Anyways, there's like, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about anyone's hustle. They're getting their money, respect to them. But your heart feels very good afterwards. Like your body feels good. Like you just feel like, you feel like that feeling, like you feel good about yourself. Like you feel like that feeling. Like you feel rejuvenated and you feel alive. That you feel that you feel good about yourself. You just feel like a weight to lift it off of your shoulders because you've been overworking your heart, and your heart, like because it's been beating so fast, it gets a rest. Like it's like a drug feeling to that. I don't know what it is. I should look into that a little more, but it feels so good after you do Stairmats for 30 minutes to an hour or 45 minutes to an hour. And you see these lifters, they look huge, even bigger than me, but these guys don't do any cardio. You know, the cardio that they're doing, stationary. I think the best cardio you should be doing is something where you're just moving around a little bit, which is why I'm leaning towards doing heavy bag training. I'm doing heavy bag training, doing martial arts training on the heavy bag and moving your body around. I think it's better than just being on a bike. Bike is good. The aerosol bike I love, but like I'm gonna be doing something where it's like high intensive training, HIIT training. That's where your body really starts to just push itself and your heart starts to push itself. And you see your body growing, you see your cardio getting better over the accumulation of weeks, just because your heart's being pushed. They say that sprints cause you to have better cardio. And I think it's probably because your heart's being pushed to its fastest limits. If I'm hitting the heavy bag for like 8 to 10 rounds, which I do pretty often, and which I've done pretty often, especially in Africa, to kill the time, I've seen myself get better and better and more faster cardio. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm moving so fast. Heavy bag is my thing right now, man. I'm loving the heavy bag. I love it. I'm always a big fan of MMA. I always see the fighters, you train on the heavy bag, you turn to the people, but just a power punch. I just like fast power punches. I love that kind of stuff. And I think the more you get in tune, that's why I get in tune with working out and lifting heavy weights. Like that's my meditation. And I also think I'm starting to grow another love for cardio, which is going to probably be like my other meditation as well. Because your mind's going to tell you to stop. Your mind's going to tell you to just stop lifting and stop. Your heart's beating too fast. We got to stop. You just got to take it easy, slow it down a little bit, and get right back to it. When your heart has a high BPM, that's when my body starts to just really push itself, and your mind starts to push itself as well. That's it, guys. Make sure you guys do your cardio. Don't make the same mistake I did of just lifting heavy weights for years and never doing cardio, because when you start doing cardio and you're forced to do cardio, Maybe in your circumstance, you're probably not gonna be forced to, but I was forced to do it because I'm in the military. Your body's gonna be like, why didn't you do any of this when you were younger? Or why didn't you do any of this when you were starting to work out? So you make sure you do your cardio, especially if you're on Bodygame. You want to be lean, you want to look good, not just be big, bulky, and jacked. You want to have some striations in your body. You want to see striations, make sure you guys do your cardio. But yeah, that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, I'm trying to aspire at least one person who will watch my video. DM me the word diet on Instagram so I can make you a weekly meal plan and get you the right physique that you want in the realistic time frame that you can get it in. That's it. Have a good one. Subscribe, share it with your friends. If any of your family members need a meal plan, I'm doing $20 per week. Every single week, you pick Cash App, share it with your family. Tell your people if they need help with a diet plan, tell them that I make weekly meal plans. I'm doing $20 a week. I used to do $50 a week, but now I'm doing $20 a week because I think people need to get in shape more, need to get a better physique more. So I'm lowering my price for a little bit for right now. It's going to be $20 a week. I'm going to be making it $40 to $50 a week in the next couple of months. I used to do it. So $20 a week, Apple Pay, whatever way you guys seem fit, you can work it out. And if you're in Philadelphia, I can also make you an in-person weekly meal plan as well, which is probably going to be maybe $30 to $40 for an in-person one to really talk about it and the consulting and everything like that. But make sure you guys share it with your friends, subscribe, and I'll see you guys. DM me the word diet. I got you. DM me. I make weekly meal plans and you will see a change in your physique. See you guys. Peace.